John here, Elton's Retirement Journey and Travel, back with another meeting of the Retiring Club. In this meeting of the Retiring Club, we're going to be taking another look at the budget. As a new retiree here in 2026, we got the first 3 months in. I have made the withdrawals from the high yield savings, and I have paid myself and all my bills through the first quarter of 2026. And we're going to go through that, take a look at it, and cover some of the unexpected things that happen when you take a early retirement, and what the benefits are, and how you need to continue on and make it work. So I will be back with that in just a little bit, but I also want to just say that the word budget, don't think of it as limiting yourself on what you can do. The budget will help you prioritize all of your expenses so that they do get paid, and that in the unfortunate event of a job loss or disability or what may have you, you know exactly what needs to be done. And that's one thing about this series here and my videos. It's all looking at the whole big picture of working towards your retirement. Retire as soon as you can. It's not for everybody. Some of us, we have to extend those years until we get ready to retire. So I'm going to come back. We're going to take a look at my budget, and we're going to go over it in pretty much detail and tell you what I expect to happen coming down the road. Okay, my name is John, and this is another meeting of the Retirement Club, talking about our budget as a new retiree. Okay, folks, so let's go ahead and take a look at the spreadsheet here. So the way it works for me, I've got it set up on the same system I had when I was working with the firm. We get paid the last day of the month and whenever the 15th comes. So as you can see, when we went into January, we'll just go over the budget and total it up. Um, Mortgage is 605.16, so that is with an extra $100, and that's consistent across on the mortgage for February 1st as well as March 1st. This is our HOA 355.95. It hasn't gone up in a while, so I'm pretty cool with that. They put the pine straw down. They got the cover off the pool already, so I guess that's going to start getting worked on. The utility and gas, here in Atlanta, we've had a very cold winter. So I had a 64.53, went up to 81.19, and for March it's going to be 83.46. The utility company doesn't give you much grace period. Matter of fact, I called them, they told me none. So it will start going down as warm weather comes in. I expected it to start sliding down to about $50 for the remainder of the year, maybe a little less, starting in April. And then utility has a grace period of 7 days. The budget plan for me allows me to run, and it averages out for the whole year. And that will, I'm just sitting in $60 now. And if we come down here to utility cable, so it was 95, then they gave me direct deposit. They dropped it to 85, and then they came out with a 5-year commitment. It'll be $70 going into May, and I'll get a prorated charge in April. So I like that. So I did save some money while I was in retirement here so far. Um, Cell phone is with the Xfinity. I'm only using 3 gig data because I connect the Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi calling. And then the groceries here, 6703, 8724, then 3706. Then I don't have it here anymore for the month of March. Once we get to 500 subscribers, I'll tell you how I pretty much eliminated my grocery bill. The fuel cost, you can see it's not that much going over the whole year, and I just put 25 bucks in the car today on this Thursday as I'm paying the bills for Friday, and that was to keep from getting caught with the increase. It was $3.19 a gallon, so that's about 40-cent increase since they committed to the war. And So I'm going to hang out over here in the March 5th, 13th. We come down, I've got a 2790. I had to buy an ink cartridge over at Best Buy, and that did go up in price. So I charged that on the credit card. Now, we'll keep going down. We've got a new charge. This is an unexpected charge here for 69.95. That is Spirit Airlines Saver, as well as if we go up top under a mortgage, this 109.78 is in red. That is what I need to shore up the escrow account to keep it from the mortgage payment from going up too much. If I pay this, which I've already done, it was going to be 520 a month for the mortgage with the extra $100. Now it's going to be 516. So it's only going up by about let's see, $6. So I like to keep it closest to what I'm used to paying. And because it's in red, that means that's an unexpected charge. So we got the line through it means that it's cleared the checking account. And down here, we've got the 69.95. And over here, this 113.79, it's under auto maintenance, but that's the emission inspection and the tags for the Honda. And over here, we've got some leftover doctor appointments, medical bills. And if I scroll down a little bit, we got 61.32. That is for a 2-year subscription, my VPN Surfshark. And that's a good deal because I paid about $67 for the whole year for NordVPN at about $6.95 a month. So you can see how you get these extra costs. But let's continue on. We left off at the ink cartridge and the 69.95 Sprint Super Saver give you discounted tickets. 59.68. This is my accident and critical illness protection insurance. If you have one of the covered illnesses, which I talked to them today, the doctor fills out the form, the diagnosis, they send it in and they have a certain amount of money that they'll pay directly to you for that. I'm keeping that until I go on to the Medicare in another, well, geez, it's going to be about 10 months from now because we've knocked off 2 already. So see how fast everything goes. And then over here, we've got the $5. That's an automatic draw. So if you could see down here, it's coming to 590.13. The red here, this is a deficit right there. I'm short $80. So what do I do? Well, if I knew that I did not have enough to cover it, I would just add that in. This would have been $600, and with a couple bucks in there, it would have covered it. But here's the thing with me. I work a part-time job. That's what the part-time job is for. Part-time job is going to pay me $108 and about 18 cents. So that's going to come in on Friday, and it's going to short us up. And that means that it looks like I would have about 30 bucks. And then I have a $25 voucher coming from my health care. They want to do assessment, talk to me, and then they'll send me a $25 Visa card. And that'll give me 50 bucks. And I just need it for a couple more weeks, maybe about 10 days. That'll be my walking around money. So that's how I have the budget set up. You can see up here, we've got the static. And this is set up to withdraw directly from the high yield savings. And there's well over 3 months in there to cover the next quarter. So, if I'm incapacitated, the mortgage will get paid. And we've got some BP credit card. That was gas and beverages and stuff. That's covered. And then we got our static cost. I always put the costs that are always debited already as bold. So I know that it's coming out. And the ones that are have not been that I need to pay, I'll leave them in this regular color like this one right here. And once it debits, I put a dash through it. But that's how the budget is set up. Now, if we take a look at it, I'm set up for $1,600 a month or $4,800. Now here we've got 1772, 1661, and then we've got this 1573. So if we add all of these up, let's see if we can do that over here. I'm a couple $100 over. It's like close to 5 grand. And I can tell you that's how it works. I'm not even going to do that. Not like that. I'll just type it in here. So sometimes you'll run a little over, but this is what's going to happen. I'm doing the calculator now. So February, I was close. I was just uh, $51 over, and I'm under a little bit. You can see how it'll work out. That's what Buzz does over his channel. He adds it up. He tells if I'm over or under. So it comes with 49.97.55, and then everything in red was extra, which will happen in retirement. But here's what's going to happen. When we go into these other months, mostly May, June, July, and August, I will have income coming in from the part-time job from the FIFA World Cup. And what I'm going to try and do, these costs are going to go down. If I can get that to about 375, $400, I won't pull that out. I'll use the part-time job income to pay all these other ones, and then I'll use my side hustle to, have my walking around money. And that's pretty much it here. So you can see how it comes. What this represents in green, this will be your pocket money. Now I'm going to tell you something. In retirement, I've been walking around with just $5. The first week in retirement, I had that same $20 for a week. And then I think it was 2 weeks ago when I did that spa day, I went to get the pedicure. I had the $5 in there from the previous week. And that's what I gave him for a tip. So you just don't spend that much money um, while you're hanging out at home and stuff. And so that's how I'm making. That's how the first quarter is shaking out. And with the reduction in the expenses on the mostly the gas and the fact that I'll be earning more from my part-time job, I should be real good going into April, May, and June. And there will be a little bit of surplus left from the first $10,000 that I pulled out to cover myself. And then once that's those months are past, I'll start using the next $10,000 for the next 6 months. And there may be some couple things pop up, but I'll be pulling in more money from working the uh, the jobs here at the FIFA World Cup. So that is pretty much it on how I'm working. Now I'm going to stop and come back just in case people want to know, well, how do you got your money set up? Are you selling shares out of your investment? How's it structured? I'm going to cover that real quick. So I'll be right back. My name is John. You're with me at the Retirement Club. Okay, so I have my investments set up um, where I have all of the pre-tax and the tax-free money and some equity components, which is the Roth, into the Federal Reserve of John. This is where I'm going to be pulling my money from. So the pre-tax we see down here, IRA, money markets, they're in all of the accounts, E-Trade, Fidelity, and Schwab. The big ones in GOFFX, that's pre-tax. I pull from there to fill up the standard deduction, which is 15,750 for last year, and it's maybe 16,100. They may adjust it later on in the year to see how it is, and the standard deduction may be more. But that's what I'm pulling out of there. That's out of the IRA uh, pre-tax. So pull money out of there, and then we would also pull from any other places that we need and put it in a high yield savings account, which then it would become tax free. I owe taxes on it when I file the tax. because I don't take out any taxes because I'm trying to make it minimum. I'd rather pay a little bit or some of it and keep most of that money to pay the bills throughout the year. This year, um, for financing 2026, it was $20,000. And what I did was I turned off the reinvestment of capital gains, and it generated $14,838. Then from one of these IRA accounts, the pre-tax, I pulled the 5,100, and I did IRA distributions. In the first 6 months, I live off the first 10,000, and in the last 6 months, I live off the final 10,000, and that will come out of the high yield savings account. Over here, I have some Roth equities. These are invested, and they are growing right now, gaining interest, and they're still holding up pretty good. There's, if I add all those up, I think it was like about 49,000 in that one. And then over on the other side with the equities and the money market, it was quite a bit in there. So it looks like I got a few years to cover myself if needed, but I only got to go 2 more years because I already funded this year. 2027, 2028, first quarter of 2029, I will be on Social Security. And when I pull the money out of high yield savings, it goes in here to the cash box. And that's what we pay the bills with. That's what you were looking at on the spreadsheet. And this is, in my mind, what I'm doing. So my name is John. You're with me at the Retiring Club, and I'm going to end this meeting. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. We got plenty more coming as we may be making some new purchases of equities if the market collapses.